This is a rant that I wrote with I, a lot of it is I felt very strongly about the plight of indigenous women, homeless indigenous women. And Jane Doe is dedicated to all homeless and missing indigenous women and girls. And this was inspired, this Jane Doe rant was inspired partly by Nina Simone's song. Nina Simone, some of you may recall, she's a very widely respected black blues singer. This was inspired by Nina Simone's song, civil rights song. Yeah, she wrote during the civil rights movement in marches, called Mississippi Goddamn. So this is actually titled my song, Jane Doe, Canada Goddamn. Jane Doe, don't you know you had a name and a home just like you and me? You wanted to be healthy, housed, love free. You had a job, 2 kids, a husband and life. Racist thugs once threatened you with a knife. Nameless, homeless, your body never found, but your spirit shouts strong and loud. Jane Doe, you were damn proud, even when you lived on a reserve in third world conditions you did not deserve. Thanks to Canada's racist, sexist Indian Act, you lost your home, you lost your job, your health, and your kids suicided. That's a goddamn fact. Indigenous kids abused, defunded, neglected. Cindy Blackstock knows. Her reports respected brother and sister victims of the 60s scoop, kidnapped in residential chicken coops, ripped up from native land and direction home. Where are you now, Jane Doe? Don't you know, don't you know? Souls blown away in the spirit wind, where are they now? Nobody can find. Jane Doe, are you on a reserve, in a shelter, on the street? So cold you can't feel your hands, mouth, and feet? You don't need another government alibi. Just a home that's warm, safe, and dry. Nameless, homeless, all alone, no direction home. Jane Doe, don't you know, don't you know? You froze to death at 30 below and your sister sunstroked at 40 above. No respite, no warming or no cooling center to care or love in Vancouver, Winnipeg, Calgary, Toronto, Ottawa. The RCMP cops, mayors don't give a shit and never did. Nobody stopped to give you a loonie or dime in rain, snow, sleet, in the wind or sunshine. Nobody stopped to touch, to say hi or hello. Don't you know, don't you know? Crowded shelters turned you away, while the mayors, councillors, ministers lied. Brothers, sisters, friends shouted loud and long, she's gone, she's lost. Sisters cried and cried. No justice, no peace, no safety, no home. Your kids never found, lost to suicide, while ministers committed genocide. You barely survived third world welfare, no heat, no clean water, no health care. Jane Doe, you died alone, stigmatized, racialized, traumatized, criminalized, nameless, homeless, no direction home. Don't you know? We're all to blame, goddamn Canada. Goddamn national shame. We're all to blame. Goddamn national shame. You had a name you wanted to be. You wanted to live free near a lake, near a sea. You had a family, sister, daughter, son. They were scooped. Where are they now? You and your sisters were not another squaw. Time to stop this racist, sexist slur. You were a Mohawk warrior, strong and loud. You soared high and far, like the eagle proud. Brothers and sisters, children, elders, listen to your blues, like Buffy and Billy on the late night news. In clubs, cafes, shelters on the street, so cold you couldn't feel your mouth, hands, or feet. Jane Doe's kids sniffed glue and gasoline. No surprise on the reserves, a nightmare, a hellish scene. Jane Doe's kids bullied, beaten in schools. You stood up for them, damn the rules. Racist, sexist, white thugs called men. 3 gang raped you, or was it 10? Kenora, Thunder Bay, Winnipeg police. They tried throwing you in the Red River ice, like many other women and girls like Tina Fontaine. The RCMP didn't find their bodies. They didn't bother to remain. Left to drown, left to die, don't you know, Jane Doe, where are you now? The cops, the RCMP, the judges, too biased, too racist to look, just like a con artist, a liar, or crook. They didn't respect your language and culture, Jane Doe. Goddamn Canada, don't you know? White racist police arrested you again, threw you traumatized in a solitary dungeon, locked up, labeled, drugged, and shocked. You tried to escape from prison, locked and mocked. Was your body found on a railway track? That's what happened to 12-year-old Cheney Wenjack. The guards couldn't find your spirit or soul. Maybe it's covered up deep in the hole. Missing and murdered like your sisters, all talk, no action from self-serving ministers, nuns, priests, guards. Lied and covered up their abuse, just another religion and state ruse. Denied your language, fighting back, thinking suicide in residential schools that taught you self-hate and genocide, suicide. Jane Doe, where are you now? No more apologies, we're all to blame. Goddamn Canada, goddamn shame. Jane Doe, nameless, homeless, no direction home. Counselor, cowards, bullshit mayors, lying ministers, too bigoted, too ignorant to be chiefs or elders. Nobody gives a shit. Who the hell cares? Your land, your life stolen, invaded by racist white settlers, colonizers, Indian agents, fought and hated. Broken oaths, promises, treaties, buried in reserves, alleyways, cities, no sound, no body, no spirit found in your sister's native ground. Where are you now? Where are you now, Jane Doe? Nobody knows your name, you're all alone. Nameless, homeless, no direction home. Police, the RCMP, ministers, judges to blame. A goddamn crime, a national shame. Canada, Goddamn Canada, goddamn, don't you know, don't you know? Jane Doe missing, murdered, Mohawk warriors. Where are you now, where are you now? But we feel your spirit, hear your voice, see your vision. That must be our sacred duty, our holy mission. March and dance to the drum, strong, shouting, strong and loud. March and dance to the drum, shout strong and loud. Your brothers, your sisters, your kids are proud. We hear you, we see you, we feel your pain, your oppression in this racist, colonialist, white supremacist nation. In Vancouver, Calgary, Winnipeg, Toronto, Ottawa, Halifax, St. John. Stand tall, speak truth to power, never back down. March with sisters, brothers, red, black, and brown. Raise your fists raise your fist, shout, we will not be moved or drowned. While nuns, priests, the RCMP, police, guards all around stole your kids, killed your language, snuffed out your sound, broke promises, poisoned the fish, stole your lands, broke treaties signed by chiefs in federal hands. Racist police, the RCMP, armed soldiers from Ottawa invaded your sacred burial grounds at Oka. Thunderbird, owl, crow, eagle, buffalo, they all heard bullet sounds on Wounded Knee, killing fields at Pine Ridge with Lakota Sioux. Jane Doe, you fought with Anna May and other sisters she knew. In the spirit of Crowfoot, Sitting Bull, Peltier, powerful chiefs, elders, brothers without peer. They stood solid with Sister Ellen and Brother Lasagna, protecting your sister's rights, your burial grounds at Oka, surrounded by robots programmed to kill. Jane Doe, are you alive still? Where are you, proud sister, warrior sister, where are you now? White colonialist Canada, goddamn, your ministers lied, robbed, poisoned, and killed thousands of Jane Doe's indigenous sisters on third world reserves, in residential schools, on streets, on highways they didn't deserve. Fuck Harper and Trudeau's fake apologies and promises. White racist commissioners, police, judges, mayors, ministers hide lies, apologies, and non-action behind parliamentary desks. Legalize genocide in the name of superior orders. You refuse to repeat the racist sex. You refuse to repeal the racist, sexist Indian Act. Legalized femicide and genocide, that's a fact. You refuse to speak out in the name of justice. You refuse to honor. You refuse to, and you never respected Jane Doe's. In the name of Canada, we're all to blame. A goddamn crime, a national shame. Missing, murdered, nameless women and girls on stolen land. No justice, no peace for native bands. Jane Doe, where are you now? Tell us where you must be found, your spirit rising like the phoenix, like a smoke signal rising from the sacred ground. Justice, peace, reconciliation, truth, wherever found, lie deep, deep asleep in Mother Earth, too scorched, too damaged to give birth. Jane Doe, nameless, homeless, tell us your name. Don't you know we're to blame for this national shame? Canada, goddamn, Canada, goddamn.